I'm Cramer. Welcome to a very special San Francisco edition of Mad Money. Welcome to Cramer. Other people make friends. I'm just trying to make you money. It's my job not just to entertain, but to educate and teach. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Holy cow, don't give up on Apple. Stop selling NVIDIA, please. Get back into Microsoft. And don't forget Meta Platforms. You ignore these stocks at your own risk. And that's how you end up with a day where the Dow gained 217 points, S&P jumped 1.4%, and the tech-laden NASDAQ surged an outstanding 2.2%. Yet today we celebrated tech, which made a huge comeback after the market turned on the Magnificent Seven and their compadres last week, especially anything related to personal computers. Those stocks got sold, and instead people bought the banks, the retailers, and most important, the healthcare stocks. One reason I find myself at JP Morgan's annual healthcare conference, arguably the industry's most important event year after year. Last week I told you that the first week of the year often doesn't tell you much about where things are headed. As always, when you decide to dump all things tech, don't forget to send me an invitation to your funeral. Right now, there's a revival conference about to start. Maybe it's like 564 miles from here in Las Vegas. CES, once the newest consumer electronics show, where NVIDIA is unveiling generative AI chips for workstations and personal computers. They're bringing AI to millions of regular people, not just the hotshots in the enterprise, and it could be the first major reason to buy a new PC in ages. I think these chips will spur new sales for everything connected to computers, from Micron and Dell to HP, Microsoft, hey, maybe even Best Buy. As Jensen Huang, the effervescent CEO of NVIDIA, what I call Da Vinci, said at the introduction, generative AI is the single most significant platform transition in computing history and will transform every industry. How big? How about 100 million PC and workstations? No wonder a stock, which had seemingly stalled, suddenly exploded to an all-time high, up $31 or more than 6%, even after it was the best performer in the S&P 500 last year, more than tripling on exploding chip sales for generative AI. While it can't top the NVIDIA news, Apple stock broke its 4-day skid and jumped 4 and change based on positive pushes by analysts at Evercore, ISI, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley, with the latter particularly bullish on the company's plans to infuse products with artificial intelligence. Plus, Apple gave you a launch date for the Vision Pro, a revolutionary headset that promises remarkable resolution and dynamite toggling at the clip of your thumb and index finger. I bet Apple aficionados, including me, will eat it up when it starts selling on February 2nd. Sure, we heard a report today from Jefferies speculating that Apple sales fell 30% in China in the first week of 2024, continuing, admittedly, a worrisome trend. Never mind that there was an iPhone that flew out of a hole in a Boeing plane Friday and survived a 16,000-foot fall and worked perfectly. I know, that's not enough to offset weakness in the huge market that is China. Numbers may be too high for the Cupertino Colossus, but AI, the Vision Pro, and strong service revenue should make people rethink selling the stock, down almost 10% from its high, as Apple was as of Friday's close. Oh, did anyone mention that Apple stock was up 48% last year? I regard that hardly a disappointment. You bet against this one at your own peril. Yes, this is the kind of news flow that always gets people excited and gets the NASDAQ really rolling. You simply have to own some of the Magnificent Seven down here, especially after last week's beatdown. Well, you might ask, what the heck am I doing out here at this conference, this healthcare conference in San Francisco? Am I at the wrong confab? Hardly. People should recognize that the disparity in value between these healthcare companies that are saving lives, attacking cancer, heart disease, complicated mental illness, and yes, obesity and diabetes, and those companies that help them make a better computer, well, the disparity is just too great. Right now, only Eli Lilly, the maker of Mounjaro for diabetes and Zepbound for obesity, has gotten the deserved attention. These diseases are hard to regulate. They can lead to cardiovascular illness and death. So you can't really put a price on extending your life. No wonder Lilly's stock is now a $595 billion company, still far from Mag 7 trillionaire status, but maybe that's the opportunity. Maybe the opportunity is with Walgreens. The former drugstore colossus has fallen on such hard times that it had to cut its dividend almost in half last week. But because the stock's down so much, it still yields almost 4%. Okay, I know, that's the wrong way to get a higher yield. But you can take it where you can get it. We'll learn more later tonight when we speak to the CEO. Or maybe the opportunity lies with Bristol Myers, where I'm speaking with the CEO about tackling the toughest of the toughest, schizophrenia. A new franchise which is the product of a merger with Karuna Therapeutics for $14 billion in cash. If it works, Bristol Myers might be able to help conquer Alzheimer's, psychosis, bipolar disorder too. The Cramer deal is part of a takeover spree that Bristol's been on. They want to broaden their drugs beyond oncology and cardiovascular disease before their biggest drugs start losing patent protection. Should these healthcare companies really be valued at just a fraction of what we pay for a handful of technology companies that make up 30% of the S&P 500? If you're curing cancer and heart disease, if you're trying to conquer diabetes or obesity, is that not market moving? Yet many of these stocks have languished for years as tech advanced beyond what anyone thought possible. Right now, with the exception of Eli Lilly with that revolutionary GLP-1 weight loss drug, these stocks trade more on the bond market or government reimbursement news than on their actual prospects. I'm here to find out just how wrong that is, and believe me, it is very wrong. Don't forget that what we care about is percentage gains, not incremental gains. And I think you can find bigger percentage gains in healthcare, especially if we identify the next takeover targets, and we're seeing an awful lot of takeouts in the pharma space, mostly related to biotechs being bought by big pharma for their revolutionary drugs. Of course, there's a remarkable intersection between tech and medicine. Earlier today, I spoke with Jeff Marthes, the CEO of Medtronic, about his company's alliance with, yes, NVIDIA to get the best real-time technology that ensures a colonoscopy can catch everything. Right now, a typical colonoscopy can miss up to 50% of colorectal cancer possibilities. I spoke to Bob Bradley, he's the CEO of Amgen, about his deal with NVIDIA announced today for new drug discovery. In the end, stocks like Microsoft and NVIDIA, which are bringing AI to the PC, and stocks like Apple, which is integrating artificial intelligence with the cell phone, are going to offer amazing investment opportunities. But the bottom line out here, I think a well-rounded portfolio needs to have healthcare too. And that's the best reason to buy shares in the companies you will hear from today and tomorrow, coming to you from beautiful San Francisco at the annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference Extravaganza. Let's take calls. Why don't we start with George in Michigan. George.
Hey, Jim. How are you doing, guys?
I am doing well. How about you, George?
I'm fine. I have a position on L3 Harris that I put on a long time ago when you recommended it, and I've been working it for quite some time. What's your opinion of it now?
I still think it's one of the finest defense companies because it involves basically the technology of defense. I don't know what the heck people were selling it, George. They were completely wrong. We were right. You and I got it right. I congratulate you. Let's go to Alan in California. Alan.
Booyah!
Booyah, big guy. What's happening?
Just keeping the sun on my back. I've got Spotify. What do you think of Spotify? What's your take on it?
Spotify's a home run. I think that the pivot that they made toward more profitability just accelerated the trajectory of the stock. You stay along that one, partner. How about Andrew in Tennessee? Andrew.
Happy New Year, booyah from Music City.
Wow, yeah, I got to get there myself. What's going on?
Jim, I love Carl's special on Nashville. When are you going to do the show here?
You know, when my wife says I can go, I guess. I don't know. Or they invite me. If they invite me, I'm headed there. What's going on?
You're welcome anytime. Hey, man, I'm a longtime holder of Fiserv, ticker FI. It had a huge run, but then it slowed down after its merger with First Data a couple years ago. You told us to bank with Frank and ride it out. It's been stuck in the 120 to 130 range for a while, but finally seems to be breaking out to new highs. Should I take profits or keep holding?
Bank with Frank and let it ride. You got it right. We're going to continue to do that with Fiserv. Oh, man, I was just getting in my groove. All right, look, we know the top tech stocks in this market are going to offer you amazing opportunities. But I think if you want to have a well-rounded portfolio, you need to put some healthcare in that portfolio, too. All right, oh, man, Money Tony, I'm bringing you hard-hitting interviews from some of the biggest names in healthcare from JP Morgan's Healthcare Conference in San Francisco. Amgen just finished up its acquisition of Horizon Therapeutics. What's next for that company? I'm getting the latest from the company's top brass. Then Walgreens is a new CEO at the helm. I'm getting an inside look at his priorities for the company amid a lot of headwinds for the industry. And don't miss my exclusive with Roche ahead of the company's presentation at the conference. So stick with Cramer.